Welcome along to the Spearo Diaries podcast with Elise and Laura, two mermaids chatting about spearfishing and ocean adventures. Today we're putting ourselves in the hot seat first, a chance for you to get to know your hosts. This episode we catch up with epic Spearo, competitive Frother and slayer mermaid herself, Elise Clynes. But full disclosure, we aren't experts or instructors, and we're both new to the sport. We're here wanting to capture the stories of people who love the Spearo lifestyle just as much as we do. If you enjoy our potty, chuck us a message on the gram and let us know what you think. We hope you enjoy the chat. Well, here we are with the athlete slayer herself, Elise Clynes.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. My goodness, what an intro.
I mean, there's been a bit of build-up to getting you here. It's been rough. I had to convince you.
It's true. She made me live with her for like almost a year. We talked about it every day. And the day we moved out, we were like, let's do the podcast.
Hey, let's start a podcast. And why not interview ourselves? Might seem a little egotistical to some of our listeners. But in all honesty, Elise, I've actually been looking forward to this for quite some time. Because there's actually, this is what I reckon is going to happen, is there's actually going to be some stuff I don't know about you come out of these questions. So if we can interview each other and get some gems of knowledge and some time to, I don't know, listen to each other. Because it's something that,
we get to take turns at talking.
Craziness. But in all honesty, we are still, I feel like we've come off, I'm on this journey with you. I feel like you have just come off some of the most epic parts of your spearfishing journey, and so there's not a better time to be interviewing you. You've just come back. I say just come back. Very recently represented New Zealand in the New Zealand spearfishing team at the Inter-Pacifics in March, which, I don't know, fill us in. That has to have been pretty epic. That was incredible.
Honestly, just obviously being able to represent New Zealand was incredible. But really, just being able to spend 11 days down in Coromandel, just training, scouting, diving with incredible divers, and just being able to learn, it was amazing. Basically, we all stayed in this house. We had two houses right next door to each other. We had 11 days of just diving every single day, eating incredible food, having good sleeps. It was like spearfishing camp.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
For those people that don't know maybe much about the structure of New Zealand spearfishing, as a sport, as competitive, how many girls were on the team with you?
So we had 3 girls. So we had the incredible Jackie and Teresa and myself. Basically, Jackie, because she came first in the women's, she dove both days, and then myself and Teresa dove the other days. So in the women's, it's a pairs event. So it meant that there's a backup just in case one of us has sore ears or, something happens. But yeah, we just all dive together, train together. And then we had our incredible team manager, Alex Edwards. She was amazing. And her dad, Craig Edwards. Craig, unfortunately, had COVID, so he could not be there the whole time. But Alex stepped up and she taught us some incredible things. It was pretty cool.
I mean, she knows a bit about spearing as well, right?
Yeah, she's entered a couple competitions here and there, eh?
Yeah, for those people who don't know, Alex, obviously been world champ.
Second in the world currently, so it's pretty badass. She's
and just to backtrack a little bit, you made that team because you competed at the New Zealand Spearfishing Nationals in the women's event.
Yeah,
and that's how you got on there.
And so that's all solos, the women's. So you're diving by yourself, but with a sweever, so just a person that's your safety following you around all day. But yeah, came third in that, so I was pretty excited. For the last 2 years, I've come third, so I'm hoping next year that I can step up a place or two. That would be pretty exciting for me. It's kind of my long-term goal is to move out of third place and hopefully upwards. We'll see. Would it be good to move out of third into fourth, but that's all right.
I mean, I was epically
But
proud of you. Everyone who knew you, everyone who knows you was super proud of you, how you did it into packs, and you just came back like fizzing. Like, so, I mean, you're pumped for spearing most of the time. I've never seen somebody so like into spearing in my life. But when you came back from into packs, you were just like on this whole other level of like, learnt all these things from people, had the best time. Like, you're one of the most competitive people I know as well, and I know that like you would have liked to do better, and you would have liked to won New Zealand Nationals as well, but that's just you because that's you seeking for that level of wanting to do the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's fun, you know. It's competitive, but it's fun. Like, so I can be pretty chill about it. Like, I'm never...
Sorry.
We say chill. In the way that, like, competition, like, while I'm competitive, I still also love to cheer on the people around me. Like, you know, if somebody beats me, I won't be down about it. I'll be like, yes, you go you. Like, it's very cool. Yeah. But also, I want to beat you next time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to give people a bit of context, like the listeners, like who don't know you, who want to kind of understand how big a deal it was for you to make that New Zealand team as well. It's not like something you've been wanting to do since you were 10.
No.
You didn't grow up spearfishing. How long have you been in spearfishing? Like, when did you start out?
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty fresh. I started diving in 2020. And yeah, at that stage, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I knew that I loved it and just wanted to be in the water from the very first moment I gave it a go. But yeah, so started in 2020 and then just absolutely frothed it. Was, maybe some may say, became mildly obsessed with it. There's something with the salt water that just kind of takes over your brain function and just stops you being able to think about anything else. So yeah, it's a bit of an oasis for me being in the water. So then coming through to 2022, I did my first nationals because I just really wanted to give it a go. I was really nervous about it and was just like, you know what? How am I? First of all, I didn't really know that many people that were divers, and I don't even remember if I'd been out on a boat by that stage. Maybe once or twice I'd been out on a boat, and I was like, you know what? If I do the nationals, if I could get out on a boat to a new island. So that was kind of like my first thoughts, was like, this is how I get out to a new spot and go on a boat.
Okay,
yeah.
so you started out like mainly just shore diving.
Yeah, just was shore diving, dragging my float around, jumping in wherever I could.
What part of New Zealand and like where were you when you started getting out on those shore dives?
So it all kind of began up in Whananaki, which is way up north, and that place has just got some beautiful spots. I won't tell you whereabouts, but there were some places that were incredible, and I was able to get there quite a lot. So I spent most of my time diving there, and then when I was back in Auckland, we would be driving up to like Matheson's Bay or T Point, or just dragging the float around to anywhere we could get to, really. So it was quite cool.
So just like basically like fell in love with it and started hissing towards competing straight away in true Elise fashion and trying to get on some boats. I like it.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I've already learned stuff I don't know. So kind of getting amongst the shore diving, like, do you remember your first fish? Like, do you remember your first 100%. Fish that you like?
Yes.
Shot?
So, okay. The very first time I went diving, I was terrified. There must have been like a little reef that was about, 10 meters off the rocks, and swimming out to it, I was always quite scared because I've been surfing, I've been paddleboarding quite a lot, and I've always been like, oh my God, what's underneath me? The idea of stuff underneath me freaked me out. And I was just like, you know what? I want to try this out. So swimming out to that little reef, I was so scared. And then went out to the reef and then realized that there's like little fish around, and I was starting to feel a bit more comfortable, and it was just feeling all pretty okay. So I'm pretty sure I dove down and was like, oh my God, a fish, look at that one. And then I asked my friend what it was. I was like, what's what's that one? It's got black stripes on it. And he's like, oh, it's a porori. And I was like, oh, sweet. So I like dived down. I was like, can I eat it? And he was like, yeah, you can eat it if you really want to. And I was like, okay. So I dove down and somehow managed to swim directly at the fish with all my might, and came in pretty hot and managed to get it. And yeah, that was the most proud porori that I've ever got in my life. Came up to the top and I was like, feeling all like, yes, like I'm a huntress, I just got my dinner, like so excited. And then like I'm like, oh, check out that one, because he was pretty new to it too, but he's a good shot. I was like, what's that one with the red stripes? He's like, oh yeah, it's a moki, red moki. And I was like, oh yeah, can we get those? And he was like, yeah, I think so. Anyway, so we brought home that day. He brought home a red moki, I brought home a parori, and we ate both of them pretty much head to toe. And I mean, it's not ideal to get a red moki, I know that now.
To give context to listeners, maybe even people in New Zealand who don't know about it, and I don't want to be that person that like frowns upon fish, and I'm not dissing your first fish story at all.
That's all right, I'm dissing it.
For those people who don't know, they're like,
you
red
don't
moki,
shoot red moki in New Zealand. Like, I mean, some people do, and there's heaps of them, but like...
It's like a general understanding, it's not like a legal law, it's like you shouldn't shoot red moki, and apparently they go around in pairs, right? And they're like,
so if you shoot one, the other one dies by crying itself to death on the reef. So get both. No, don't get both.
I'm pretty sure I remember you telling me a story about that when I started out spearing about how I shouldn't. I was just like, okay, well, this sounds like
I tell everyone else now. I'm like, don't get that one. Leave it alone.
And porori, kind of same thing, eh? Like, they're seen as a bit of a, like, not that tasty. There are a few around, but they're big. They're pretty big, meaty fish. They got stripes on them. They're not easy to shoot.
Do you know what? I had the porori as a ceviche as my very first way to prepare it as well. And I was like,
hey, respect that catch.
Quite chewy. But, I think what I've learned is to be more specific with my targets. And that's my first fish. Do you know what? Yes, it was a porori, but I'm proud of it, and it changed my life. It made a switch in me, and I was just like, okay, I want to do this, like, forever. This is amazing. I love this. And it was a moment where I was just like, oh my goodness, this is all I want to do for the rest of my life, basically.
Plus, there's nothing better than that feeling of like bringing fish home that you've gone and had this awesome time in the sea, you've gone and got some food, and then you bring it back home to share it with whoever's there, or just eat it yourself. But nothing beats it. It's cool that you can still like actually remember that feeling too.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's ever actually left me. And it's funny because I look at that reef now every now and again, and it's so close. It's like almost a rock pool swim away. And I'm like, wow, this is a lot different. Like now, I mean, the amount of times I've been thrown out in the middle of the ocean, super deep, and like, you're just swimming around with sharks and everything, and it's just like, okay, I can see how I've come a long way since then, which is quite cool.
Nice. Well, it leads very smoothly into my next question for you, which is, what is your favourite part about spearfishing? I mean, you're talking about it a lot. I've heard you talk about it a lot, but like, if you had to kind of narrow it down, what's the favourite part about the whole thing for you?
Oh, there are obviously just so many. My favourite part is the hunt, when you see a fish and you know that you want that fish, and you have to like come up with a way to get it. Like, you know, if you're particularly wanting to target like a snapper or a kingfish, you've got to like hunt in a certain way to be able to get them, which I really, really enjoy. The other thing is just sometimes when I first get in the water, I dive down, and it's almost like saying, oh my gosh, I can breathe again. But it's the opposite. It's like, oh my gosh, I can hold my breath again. Which is like, doesn't make sense, because you can hold your breath any time, but it's just that feel of the water all around you, and it just brings so much calm, which is just something I really love about it.
Nice. And I can see it look on your face, like, look like being a creep over here, but I think,
especially in the dark.
I've witnessed it about you, the pre and post post-dive vibes and just how different people feel when they come out from a dive and stuff.
It's pretty special.
I mean, I guess like I said before, like I said, you didn't grow up spearfishing, but you said, things like paddleboarding, surfing, like you've obviously been around the ocean and like had, I know for a fact that like you're a canyon guide, you used to do whitewater kayaking, you do surf, you're way better than me. You surf like all these different things. Your current job's a ranger where you're taking care of like the Piha area as like a park ranger. Like you're an outdoor person, you're into nature.
Outdoors has been my life,
Like the ocean particularly, like is there a specific memory in the ocean that's impacted your spearfishing journey or like your life in general that you can kind of like track back to that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the first time I got a porori was definitely a moment. But there's also times like earlier in life. When I was younger, I got moved to England, and then I lived there for like 2.5 years, and then I moved back to New Zealand, and I was in Tauranga, and we probably lived like half an hour away on the bus to the beach. And I was like 13, and I'd just catch the bus to the beach every single day because we're in the holidays. And I'd just go by myself. And then one day, just around Leisure Island, I chucked a snorkel and a mask in my bag and some flippers, and I was just going snorkeling around. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I was just diving down, having fun. And I just remember seeing this big, like, sea anemone. And, like, that's my cat. I remember seeing like just this big sea anemone, and I was just like, oh my God, that's incredible. And I think that kind of like, while it didn't start it for me, it definitely put a little grain of sand in there, or like planted a seed for me to realize what I actually love about the ocean, which is just being immersed in a completely different environment. Like, and then now, like, it's almost like 3D hunting, you upside down, backwards, squeezing into little caves, getting crayfish out, Don't know if I've like skipped over a few years there, but anyway, that's fine.
But that's the point, right? Like, you're tapping back into these ocean memories. I know that you were talking about Tauranga, right? Bay of Plenty, New Zealand, Leisure Island.
Yeah, that's right. So I did my high school years down there, a bit of a wee Tauranga girls girl.
And like I said, you're a park ranger. Which, basically in my understanding of your job, which is probably terrible, you are one of the kaitiaki of our area, of the people in the area if they get into trouble, of, so many different things that I know that you get up to. Like, for instance, you were on a call out earlier tonight on call for some trees on a road.
Yes, that was quite exciting. Tree falls down, give us a call. So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you get up to that's pretty hands-on. It's like you're dealing with the public, you're dealing with all these different aspects of nature, weather, all these different things. That I just think, man, you're onto it with all this kind of stuff. And I found you're someone to dive with. You're like, I'm not worried about getting into like a difficult situation with you spearfishing because you're just such an onto it person. But I guess that does link back to those other things you do. Thank
you.
In your other life. Yeah.
I think, I have worked in the tourism industry for like 15 years as a canyoning guide, and then just recently have become a park ranger. So I've definitely had a lot of times being under pressure in the workspace, but then also my own personal like outdoor adventures, such as like climbing and canyoning, and we've definitely pushed ourselves to the limits quite a lot. And then like way back when I was like, 17 onwards, actually it might even have been a little earlier, it's like whitewater kayaking. So kind of did a lot of that, and definitely was pushing grades and pushing waterfalls, and now that I look back at it, I realize how scary that is. And I think I ended up not paddling as much because I was like, I just don't like the idea of not being able to breathe underwater. So now I've chosen an activity where I purposely don't breathe,
Ironic. I mean, I guess, with a background and you doing all that kind of stuff, like, to me, it makes sense that you would have picked up spearfishing, like, maybe easier than some people, but I still think it's pretty, or, like, I'm still like well impressed with like how far you've come in the few years that you've been doing it and like the passion you have for it. But I am a little interested in our next question because I don't really know what this would be for you, but I guess it's, the question is, what's been the biggest challenge to your spearfishing? So even though you talk about all this other stuff and you faced all these different, I guess, quite crazy outdoor pursuits, what do you reckon has been like the hardest thing for you doing spearfishing? Because for some people listening, they're probably like, like she does all these outdoor things and so she's picked up spearfishing and now she's on the New Zealand team and like easy as for you, but I know for a fact that's actually not how it's been for you.
No, I've definitely worked really, really hard. So probably my hardest, like my biggest challenge getting into spearfishing was finding other people to go with me.
That makes it sound like no one wants to hang out with you. That's not what you mean.
That's kind of how it was, for a little while.
I'm shocked.
So I didn't know anyone that spearfished, and I was like going out by myself just because I wanted to be out there. Like I used to make people like stand on the beach and watch me as if that would help. But anyway, felt good. So that was one of the biggest challenges is actually finding people to go out with me. Had a little while there as a loner Laura. So that's why I joined a club in Auckland and managed to get into that. And then, my world opened up since then. So there's just so many cool people that I've been able to connect with and like help me along in my obsession with spearfishing.
Yeah, because when I met you, you had all these people you connected to. You had these like Facebook group chats with other people that I didn't know that you had diving offers for. So like to know that you had that weird state at the start where it's like one person you knew, like a mate or something that sometimes
we had the
went
Ramble
with you.
group for a little while. Yeah, they were awesome. They still are, but everyone's living in different countries now, so.
But like you said, you put yourself out there online, like you used to write on forums and like just try and like meet random people.
That's
just
true.
to find people.
That's how I found my first spearfishing buddy. Was posting on the women's spearfishing page in New Zealand, and Shen replied to me, and I was like, "Thanks, girl." Anyway, she introduced me to a few other people as well, and then you meet people who meet people who meet people, and like. Is it birds of a feather flock together?
Yeah, I like that saying.
Yeah, like everyone who kind of loves spearfishing seems to like people who love spearfishing.
I agree. Like sparrows are one of a kind, but okay, so that's why I'm quite surprised by that actually you connecting with other people to go spearfishing with was one of the hardest things for you. Interesting.
Yeah, well, I'd spend a lot of time on land doing other things, so...
And I guess, too, like, have other people to talk about spearfishing with and get pumped about it with, and the safety aspect. Like, there's just so many different things. I know a lot of people, they do dive solo because they don't have other people to dive with, and, they end up... That's just how they learn to spearfish. I think that knowing you now, like, the social side of spearfishing is massive for you, like, the amount of connections and friendships.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you've given people like me so much time to meet other people and to teach me and other people how to spearfish. And that's cool. I guess that's why it's so important to you to make people feel like they've got other people to spear with, because maybe you didn't have that. So
yeah, definitely. Cool. In a time when I have more time in my life, I'd love to do that for more people as well.
I also know you've been at times training up two of your little recruits, which is also another part of your spearfishing that I guess other people may not realise is something that I think adds a whole other element to spearfishing for you. But you are a mum.
I am. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. My 6-year-old absolutely froths it. I took them diving for the first time this year. Oh, maybe not for the first time. Well, like...
In the full kit.
She's definitely been able to be out with me at other times, but it was really cool. So we spent our summer holidays. Me and Laura went camping, and then like my 2 little ones came along, we'd take them out. We started in Goat Island with my friend Ruth as well, and just pretty much had my 3-year-old on my back, and then my 6-year-old, I put her in a life jacket, or a buoyancy aid anyway, and she would float around. She was telling me all of the fish she saw. She saw so many fish that day, including octopus apparently, so that's pretty exciting.
We've seen some very mermaid diving inspired artworks from Evie since.
I get a lot of mermaid pictures, and I'm so here for it. One of the coolest moments was we were right up north on the Karikari Peninsula, and we were just in really, really shallow, and there was a little school of squid that came past, and they were just so little, like less than an inch long, like a little tiny family. And I was like, look at this, Evie, and went to like touch one, and they all just squirted off on their ink, and she just lost it. She just thought it was amazing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I can't wait for them to come out more and more. Although they're going to have to change their eating habits, because currently they think fish is yuck. So we have to sometimes lie to them and tell them it's sea chicken.
We've definitely had to tell a few little blended white lies to children about why our catch that we've gone out and got from the ocean is actually still really tasty with some panko crumb in the air fryer, and we're going to pretend it's chicken.
Delish. Sea chicken children, once again.
Yeah, I mean, your kids are obviously a huge part of your life, and I guess some people will probably be pretty surprised if they didn't know that about you, like, given how much you froth spearing, you go as much as you can. Every weekend that we can go, we plan trips, so you're out there because you love it, and because, obviously, for the last little while, you've been trying to make sure that, you did really well for Interpacks, that you were fit, that you got on your dive skills, so that, because you dived less time, I guess, than a lot of the other girls, you wanted to really make sure that you had put in the work and put in the time, but that whole time you're juggling being a solo mum, and I'm mad respect about that. I don't have kids myself, but being around you and seeing how much you love spearing and how much you dedicate yourself to being a mum as well, I think it's really cool, man. It's really cool.
Makes it easier with friends like you, Laura. Oh,
they're going to be little sparrows, those two.
Yeah.
I mean, what that leads into the next part of what we're chatting about is, I know that being a spearfishing badass woman helps you be like just a real present, happy, energetic mum, and like doing your hobbies brings to being a parent. But what else does spearfishing do for your well-being? Like, I know it impacts that. I know that you come back like refreshed, you've got food, you've had this adventure, and you can, you've talked a lot about wanting your kids to grow up knowing that it's important to follow your hobbies, to be in nature, to like do what you love. And honestly, it's cool. I think your kids are going to totally know that about you. But
hope so.
What else does it do for your well-being?
Lead them to water.
How does it impact your well-being, your water?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think it just kind of really can't think of the exact word, but like it really calms me. It really just kind of gives me that sense of like steadiness by being in the ocean. And yeah, being able to go out diving and being able to feel the ocean all around you just kind of gives me this like, I don't know, like sense of secureness or sense of like just joy. Like it's just so fun. Like definitely like there's a lot of like deep things to do with the ocean that makes my life better in every way, and the stoke and the fizz and just being around and in the water, but like really it's just fun for me, and I absolutely love it. I love fun, obviously, and
Does she what?
like it's just cool. Like it's just every part of it's fun, and when you're having fun, the rest of your life is just kind of awesome, Obviously, there's like more depth to that, but
so it calms you, like
it calms me. It definitely gives me like mental stability. Like if I haven't been diving for like a couple of weeks, I am kind of starting to go a little crazy, Like recently, I just did 6 weeks out of the water, and that's just due to weather and timing and not being able to get out, and
that's unheard of for you,
that
though. I was literally
pretty
saying to you,
long.
that's unheard of for you and me, that in the time that I've known you and we've met, we have not had that much time out of the water.
No, usually we're there like once a week or once a fortnight at least, and then like included that we've got trainings every week, so it was a long time and it was a lot, but as soon as I got back in, I was like, oh, thank goodness this is my place. I'm feeling way better.
You get like a mental calmness from it, and you get a whole lot of joy, like happiness from it.
Yeah, it fills my joy cup right to the top and over.
Joy cup.
Yeah.
Well, Along with filling your joy cup with just like being in the ocean, obviously buddies are important, safety-wise and just social-wise. I know that. I've spent a lot of time being one of your dive buddies and being around you. Could you describe for our listeners, you don't have to describe me, Elise,
Yeah,
okay? But,
Laura's asking me to describe her. But I am going to, because she's
in all
great.
seriousness though, like, can you describe for us like your ideal dive buddy?
Okay, so ideal dive buddy, somebody that is confident, can dive like to the same level as me, I guess, if not more, so I can learn from them.
Well, that's not me then, is it?
Not you.
Well,
No,
this is a bit hurtful.
It is. I love
I'm
diving
kidding.
with Laura, don't worry. But like, we're just talking about ideal, like, and so like, you know, in another month, Laura will be that, you know, like she'll be diving deep, she'll be
Hey, I want to
shooting
hear
all
the
the
truth. I'm
fish.
here for the truth. No, it's true though. Like you want to be around
Well,
someone who's pushing you to, in
yes.
terms of like doing well, not
Yeah.
pushing like safety limits, but you know, you need somebody who can. If you're diving 25, they need
Which
to be
I'm
able
not,
to,
let's just note that.
Hey.
But I need to actually say that I would feel way more comfortable diving down to like 20, knowing that my partner can come get me if something was to happen.
That's me diving with you because you're better at diving than me. I know that you can safety me. I know you can keep an eye on me. I know you can keep control of situations. So it makes sense. That
So
you
somebody,
want someone who's
somebody
competent.
that's confident in the water, somebody that can lead the way at times. Like, you know, I do one drop, they do the next drop. Buddy diving, one up, one down. Just really keeping an eye out for each other, but you know, not like overpowering each other. I don't know, just kind of like a nice equal. If not, other than that, it would just be being able to dive with someone who's really, really, really good, so I can learn off them. That'd be ideal. Yeah.
Nice. This one's about being competitive.
I am.
Are you competitive
Yes.
with your spearfishing? Yes, he's already in there. Are you competitive with your spearfishing at all?
Yeah, I'm competitive. I enjoy it a lot, and that's just in competition styles. Though, like if I'm in a competition, I'm gonna want to go hard. But like day to day and just going out for a recce, like I'm not competitive in that way. So, but if it's competition time, then like it's time to go and it's time to go hard, for me anyway, and. That's not necessarily wanting to outdo anyone else, but it's more just I like to push myself and go as hard as I physically can. I think the last comp I did like 112 dives, and I was cooked by the end of it. But like
They might have been due to
came
your
out
snack
pretty
buddy.
well. We did well, and it was heaps of fun. So I like pushing myself. I like going for it, but outside of competition dives, I'm like feel like I can be pretty chill.
But I think intrinsically you're probably someone who has standards for yourself of like how hard you go, and that's awesome and that's very admirable.
Yes.
But I think you love spearfishing so much you can tell that you get a joy from being in the ocean. I personally don't think you're too competitive just on an everyday dive, and I think for like the listeners to know like what you just said, which is that like earlier you were saying how like you pump other people up, and you do like. I was competing against you in the women's nationals, and no way am I at your level. But like, you couldn't have been more froth for me to get 4 fish, which is like not that
was
great.
pretty cool though.
But like,
she did great.
that's the thing. So like for you, like you can be competitive for yourself, but you're still like all about other people competing and doing well, and like.
I love
pump each
seeing
other
it.
up.
I love seeing the sport like go hard, which is really cool. I am probably more so against myself. I feel like even if I did really well and came first one day, I'd still have bits that I could pick out of it and be like, oh, I want to change that next time. I want to, you know, if I didn't dive that way on that fish, if I'd waited for it to come in or something like that, I'd be still picking bits apart. But it's not to be mean to myself. It's just because that's how I grow and that's how I learn, and I can like look at things and analyze it and then be like, yep, okay, that's what's going to change next time. And then hopefully next time I remember. Otherwise,
that's the cool part about spearing, right? Like it's a constantly changing thing. I hope neither of us ever get bored of it. And I think that's my 10 cents, but like, yeah, we can be competitive and go into competitions, go on a dive day, but if you're the kind of person that's constantly trying to improve and like you're still enjoying it, I mean, that's what makes a sport like spearfishing just this constant thing of change and, you know.
It's just so fun.
Just so fun.
And sometimes when you've got a time pressure and you have to kick your little heart out to get to a certain spot first, it's fun.
And you want to beat some of the boys that we know
Yes,
and the clubs that we're in and have a little list and come back with your...
A little bit of friendly banter, you know.
Float boat full of treats and see if you got more treats than them. Well, you know what? Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's a challenge, eh? Like, it's all about that challenge of, like, trying to find different species and things. It's not just about, like, it's not about, like, creating huge numbers of fish without thinking about it. It's that challenge of, like you said, sometimes there's different terrain, different depths, different types of fish.
Yeah. So, in case you don't know how spearfishing competitions work, basically, you get a fish species list and you get a certain area that you're supposed to dive in. And on that fish species list, there may be usually up to 15 to 20 different fish. And it's based on per fish, per weight. So you get 100 points per fish and then 10 points per kg. So if you came in with an 8 kg kingfish, you can get 180 points, and that's the maximum you can get. It kind of saves it from one person getting one really big fish and winning the competition based on its weight, which is great because that can happen. So it also means that you, on that list, there's a variety of fish, and every single one of those you have to hunt in a different way. So it kind of shows the skills that you need to be able to hunt that certain species.
Well, for instance, this weekend we've both got a comp coming up.
We do. The Mercury Bay Open.
And we're not diving together this time. That's all right. But
we've got different teams this week.
Yeah. We've both got one of the long shot boys, and we're going to see what happens. So for this comp coming up, it's not nationals, it's not super serious, but as you said, you are relatively competitive, and you and I are competitive against each other in a fun way.
Yeah.
So that's this weekend in Mercury Bay. Do you have some kind of goals? What are you thinking about this weekend?
Well, I haven't dived with my dive buddy competitively before, so we'll see how it all goes.
You've dived together before.
We've dived together. Yeah. Hopefully he still likes me at the end of it, but we'll still be mates, eh, Skinny?
Can't wait to debrief, see how he feels sitting around behind you all day.
Yeah. Well, you never know. He might put his kick on and I'll be dragged along behind him. You never know. Coming up to a competition this week, it's Wednesday now, so try to start cutting back the dairy. I've kind of cut out coffee. Tend to not drink alcohol before a competition. What else do? We try to get good sleeps. Half of those things have gone out the door this week because my two kids were sick, so I've been woken up 1,000 times per night. But, it is, they're off to their dads now, so I can have 2 days of sleeping before
That's been you the whole time we've been competing and going on trips, though. You're juggling being a mum, juggling working, you're trying to be healthy, and I know for you, though, a lot of your stuff's kind of you get quite, what's the right word, analytical maybe, you're not Harry-hearted about it, but you do think about, where it might be, you think about how
I'm thinking about the zones already.
What might you do first, and my experience from diving with even just the other weekend, is that, you have a bit of a plan of attack and you know that you're going to kind of dive real hard at the start and go for pelagics and stuff like that. So I presume that you're going to do that this weekend.
We shall look at the tides and the currents and see what's happening first, and then kind of make decisions based off that, I think. But we kind of got to know the zones first. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you got any other cool trips or events coming up other than just the Mercury Bay?
Yes, I do. I'm so excited. Not really spearing related, but I will be headed to the States in 2 weeks. I might try get a dive in the Santa Cruz area, but we shall see. But besides from that, I'll be going over to Cairns in August, and I think we're going to do a 7-day liveaboard with the Weddy crew. So.
So jealous. So jealous.
I'm so excited. I feel like diving on that boat with that group of people is just going to be incredible. Yeah, I can't wait. Darren talked me into it. He basically, it didn't take much. He was like, do you want to do this? I was like, okay.
That'll be your first time diving in Aussie, yeah?
It'll be my first time diving overseas.
Out of New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Very
Just generally exciting anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have any, dream fish that you know are in the Australian species that you hope you will get over there?
Oh, yes. I can't actually remember its name. It's that little blue guy.
Oh, the blue guy. Is it a tusky or something?
Yeah, a tusky. That's it.
Like publicly saying we don't know. The turquoise one that looks real cool.
Yes, I want to get...
Classic girls.
That's what I want to get the blue fish.
Like I was talking about cars, eh?
Yeah.
So the blue
tusky. Yeah.
Turquoisey
I would like to get
fish.
a tusky.
Nice.
They sound really cool. Otherwise, like coral trout. I don't know. If a Spanish mac or a wahoo or something swam past, I'd be pretty pumped about that.
A bunch of firsts for you over there.
Well, every single one of them surely will be a first. Will be cool.
Have you got like another fish, just like in general, like for spearfishing life? Like, have you got a dream fish at the moment? Like, other than those Aussie fishes, they're like a fish that you're like, yes,
my
that would be
ultimate
epic.
dream fish would be to get a mahi-mahi in New Zealand waters. So when that happens, I'll be absolutely fizzing.
Nice, mahi-mahi, which some people also know as a dolphin fish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about spearing. There's just so many different locations that have different species, different fish, different terrain, different sharks. Cool. I guess like we've covered a bit of this. The questions are like, what other things are you doing with your life when you're not in the water? And we've talked about what you do for a profession. That you're a solo mum, the couple of the other hobbies that you're into, like climbing and stuff like that.
I am a solo mum, yes, but like. In that, like I've also got such a huge support group. Like I've got incredible friends around me. I've got an incredible partner. Like everything is really cool. Like, yep, definitely juggle the mum thing. But yeah, as far as like spearing goes and living life goes, like, very, very lucky to have such a good group of people around me. Yeah.
And
just to chuck that in there.
Light up your life just as much as
just
spearing
to chuck
as
it in
little
there.
humans.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to move on to some of our, Spiro Diaries special questions that we've formulated. Would you like to give us a wee diary entry of your most memorable day diving? A little bit of a dear diary.
Okay. Dear diary. I love this part of the of our segment. Anyway, there's a couple that pop to mind, but one in particular is kind of a recent one, which is finally getting a really big snapper. I've been working hard at getting a snapper, like a decent one, for quite a while. Okay, so we spent a weekend over at an island group, and to get there we had to kayak over. So I had all my spearfishing gear, all our sleeping gear, all of our food, everything in the boats. Got over there, went for a spear, kind of like set up the hut for the weekend. And the idea was to use my kayak as a float and a float line. So I didn't actually bring over another float with me. The thing is, when we got to the hut, we met this awesome group of people. And they very kindly invited us out onto their boat the next day. And obviously you can't turn that down because this island group is incredible, and to be able to get like around the islands is just amazing. Like the spot that we were going, I've dove with manta ray before. We've dove with a great white shark before, which is a story for another day. Like there's just so much ocean life there. It's wild. So we definitely said yes to that. But it meant that we were going without floats. So I was like, okay, we're going to shoot small fish, okay? We're not going to shoot any big fish because, we don't have floats and it's just a little bit naughty to do.
Be chill.
And we're going to be relaxed here, Adam. We dive around and it is incredible. There's just like different layers of fish. You've got all your trebs boosting past and your kahawai and your blue mau-maus. There's just fish everywhere and koharu, and it's just looking perfect. The beauty of this day was that the forecast was horrible. So there was absolutely no boats out. But on the actual islands, it was the best like conditions I've ever had there. So I was so lucky. We were so lucky. It was like 15 to 20 meters visibility, like just perfectly calm in the spot that we were. So we're all diving around, and I dropped down to go help one of the people to get a kingfish. I was like, I'll shoot your koharu for you. And so was going to dangle a little koe on the line in the hopes to bring in a kingfish for him. But what happened was I had a big school of blue mau mau around me, and I dove down. And as I was just kind of like, I stopped kicking and was just letting myself sink. And just kind of ahead of me, I'm like, oh my goodness, there is a huge snapper. And I was like, this is amazing. And then I'm like, I've got no float line.
This is just in mid-water, right? Like
yeah, it was just
in the reef, just in the mid-water.
No, it was just floating mid-water. And I was like, there's no chance that this thing has not seen me. So I just like let myself float a little bit closer, and then I just stretch out and take the shot. And I plugged it, and I just couldn't believe it. Like, I didn't hurt it enough for it to be spined or completely like lifeless. Like, this thing was kicking. And so I was like holding onto my gun, kicking up to the surface, and I'm like, oh my God, it's actually got quite a lot of beans. And so it's kind of like pulling me under a little bit. I'm like, don't let go of your gun. So I get to the surface, and like, pretty sure Adam said he could hear me screaming with joy before I'd even like come to the surface. And he was like, for a moment, going to be a little mad at me. He was like, you told me we weren't going to shoot any kingies. Like, what the heck, man? And then he was like, it's a snapper. Okay, fair enough. So like, yeah, got to the surface, pulled up this big ass fish, and I was just absolutely pumped. Got it in my hands. And yeah, I was just like screaming with joy, very calmly, obviously. Spare a life.
It's a good picture actually to put up of you for this episode.
Yeah.
There's an epic picture of you that you guys had from the GoPro footage. So I think Adam got of you just like lifting it out of the water. Like as soon as you shot it, you just like,
so excited.
Well pumped. Like I've seen you get your first kingy, and I reckon you look like you actually look more stoked probably to get your this big snapper.
Yeah, snapper are hard. They're like really tricky to get, like to get a big one anyway, because the big ones are clever. Like they've got that big for a reason. They're super spooky, and like you can get them on the snoop, or you can get them like on fish burleys or kinner burleys. But like to get one floating mid-water, like
that big too,
real deep. So it went 16 pounds. When I lifted it out of the water, I was fairly sure it was like over 20. But
I know there's some people,
just shrunk when it got on the boat. 16 to me, yeah.
They'll be like, oh, that's not even
16
that big,
to me was still huge, and I was like really pumped about it.
It's pretty cool you guys were on the Cavilli Islands and like all staying together and just end up with all these other sparrows who just happen to know a lot of stuff about fish.
They were an incredible group of people, and we felt very lucky to have met them. So yeah, appreciate, if you ever hear this, appreciate you guys. Yeah, it was amazing. So that's probably my most memorable day. Like, it was just perfect visibility, perfect conditions, got an incredible fish, one that I've been working really hard for, and had missed so many big ones, and like just coming over like ledges and spooking them, and it had been a bit of a mission trying to get there, but yeah.
And to share that moment with
really
your new man, so who's a new sparrow, for him probably pretty cool, getting to like witness that excitement, because for him, I think he might have shot like his first blue mau mau or something on that trip, and so just like, especially when you guys were just like, we'll just go, we'll kayak over, and you know, it's not always that you're going to be able to get to certain parts if you know you're just shore diving too. So it's pretty cool that you guys ended up on someone's boat. And what do you know? Giant adventure without a flight.
Adventure, heaps of fun, cool people. So it was a really, just incredible weekend.
Cool. Yeah, good story. Good story. Like that Dear Sparrow Diaries entry.
Diary. I caught a big fish.
No, you've got a lot of them, but it's cool to hear that that's one of the ones that's the top of the pops for you. One of our other special questions is, when you first started spearing, if you could go back and give yourself, in your words, one hot tip what would it be? Because that just made me think about that. You know, like you're diving with someone who's a newbie, you've been diving for a couple of years now, but like if you could tell yourself something on that like first dive or that first month of spearing, what tip would you give yourself?
Yeah, I guess just to relax is probably the most important thing. When you're feeling it like it's just hard or it's feeling harder, it's when you need to relax more. So, yeah, I think that would be what I'd say to my newbie beginner self if I could go back.
Relax.
Relax, man. You know? That's
It's an art. It's an art learning to be chill, especially when
Yeah.
you're hyper people like we are.
Yeah. Well, like when you've got a long way to kick back to the top, it's when you got to relax some more. So, yeah.
I guess leading off from like just advice in general about spearing, have you got any spirit like health advice that you would give about kind of, I know you mentioned before some stuff about alcohol and dairy and like sleep, which are some pretty obvious ones, but not to everybody. Is there like specific health advice that you would recommend helps your diving to keep you good?
I think when you say that, I like immediately just think of hydration. Hydration is so important when you're diving. Like always having like electrolytes or water nearby and just making sure you're drinking it, even if you don't feel like you need to. It is incredible how much you are dehydrated from diving. Yeah, so I'd be saying keep hydrated, even if you don't need to have a drink, have a drink.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great thoughts from athlete Elise.
It's just Elise now. Impax is over. Give it, wait till 2026.
Oh, it's always
we'll call
a
it
countdown to
again
something
then.
with you though, isn't
Yeah.
it? What's the next thing? Nah, it's
Yeah.
good. I like the hype. It's got me into that competitive hype about it as well. Do you have any dive day rituals? And I can't even think of off the top of my head. I dive with you a lot, but is there anything you do, you know, on the dive day, just general that you're like, you swear by that and that's like an Elise thing to do for spearfishing?
Yeah,
You're
well,
laughing and pulling a face, so I know that it's like, must be quality that's in your brain.
Okay.
So we want to hear it.
Right.
What's your dive day ritual?
you know, obviously hydration and all that, but really like take a poo before you go out, eh?
Oh yeah, I can't see why you did that face now. Just for those who didn't hear it because I laughed over it. Sorry. Do a poo before you dive. Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah, it doesn't feel great if you're out on the water and that's on your mind, you know?
you- Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dive day ritual.
We don't have poo stories.
It's 6
like,
a.m. Better go.
we definitely don't need the poo story sector like Noob Spiro, but we can have the dive
Hey,
day
I'm all
rituals.
about that.
Yeah.
No, it's you know,
Take a
we've got to bring the
poo.
funnies as well. But yeah.
Nah, it's true, right? You don't want to be uncomfortable and bunged up all day. So tum-tum. Got to make some room for the breathing and the relaxation.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've covered quite a few different things about, you know, upcoming stuff going on, what you're doing, where you've come from, what you think about spearfishing. We've just got a couple of questions left, basically. I feel like we could talk all day, but no one wants to hear that, do they?
We can. That's why we started a podcast.
Truth. I guess this is about more kind of like other people and other spearers. Is there someone who has inspired you along the way on your journey?
Yes, definitely. I've been really lucky to be surrounded with really incredible divers. For me, like, it's been really cool. I feel like Darren's kind of taken me under his wing a little bit. So Darren Shields, he's taught me heaps of stuff. And I've been really, really lucky to be able to ask him a million questions, and he's had the patience to actually answer them for me. So, yeah, feel really lucky to have someone that has just got so much knowledge from such a long time. And, yeah, he's just an inspiring person, and, yeah, love diving with him, love yarning with him. And, yeah, it's been really cool having him on my journey. Yeah. Thanks for that, man.
Can second that. He is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
I guess then, is there someone you think we should talk to on here? Follows on from that.
Well, we could always get Darren on.
I think he would be an epic podcast guest.
Yeah,
He's
it
got
would
a lot
be
of good
pretty
stories.
cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's plenty of people. I've been sending lists to Laura every day. I'm like, what about this person? She's like, I've got them already. So
We've got too many.
we've got lots of ideas.
There's a lot of
people
that we would love to talk to on
Yeah.
here. So we'll see who comes into fruition to be our first few podcast guests. Got to be more interesting than us, surely.
Surely. Nah, it's good. Excited for the future of Spearo Diaries.
It's been great. I have genuinely had some very interesting, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that you just talked about, so I'm glad that we've done this, and I'm glad that we have decided to interview ourselves and go through our questions that we're going to be putting our podcast guests through and giving our audience and the people listening like a little bit of a chance to hear about your background in spearing and who you are and what lights you up under the water.
Yeah,
it's been good.
No, I'm excited. Thank you, Laura.
Well, toodle-doo.
Toodles.
Tune in next week for an in-depth conversation with one of New Zealand's most prolific spearos. Cheers for listening to this episode. We appreciate those of you who have already given us feedback. Feel free to drop us a message or comment on our Instagram. And we'd love it if you could give us a rating on Spotify too. Catch you next time on Spearo Diaries. Toodles!